You want it so badly it's starting to suffocate you. Not in a motivated way, in a paralyzed way. In the way where you think about what you're supposed to be building every single day and then don't build it. Where the vision is so clear and so important that sitting down to actually work on it feels impossible. Where the stakes feel so high that starting feels like the most dangerous thing you could do. You thought pressure was supposed to help. That's what everyone says. That urgency is fuel. But this doesn't feel like fuel. It feels like a hand around your throat. And the harder you tell yourself that you have to, that time is running out, that people your age are already there, the more frozen you become. Nobody talks about this. The way wanting something too much can be the exact thing that stops you from getting it. Here's what's actually happening. The pressure isn't coming from the goal. It's coming from what the goal is carrying. Because at some point, the thing you're working toward stopped being just a thing, a business, a career, a creative work, a version of your life. It became proof, evidence. The answer to a question that's been sitting in you for a long time. Am I enough? Did I make the right choices? Will I be okay? Will they see that it was worth it? And you cannot move freely towards something that's also a verdict on your worth. Every step toward it is a step toward the moment of judgment. Every attempt is a chance to find out the answer is no. Every day you don't start is a day the question stays open. Uncomfortable, yes, but open, unanswered, still possible? The stuckness isn't laziness. It isn't fear of hard work. It's the weight of everything you've attached to the outcome. There's the version of this that comes from family, the parent who sacrificed, who said it with or without words. I did all of this so you could do something with it. And now, the thing you're building carries their sacrifice on its back. Now, failure isn't just your failure. It's a betrayal of something it cost someone else to give you. That's not motivation. That's a debt that makes your hands shake when you try to work. There's the version that comes from being the one who was supposed to make it. The first in your family, the one people pointed to, the one who got the opportunities. You've been someone's proof of concept for so long that your success stopped belonging to you. It belongs to the narrative. And the narrative is watching. There's the version that's quieter and harder to name, the one where you've spent years building an identity around your potential. Around what you're about to do, what you're working on, what's coming. And somewhere in that time, the potential became more comfortable than the attempt. Because potential is safe, potential has never failed. Potential is the version of you that hasn't been tested yet, and some part of you has decided that an untested version is better than a tested one that came up short. So you keep the dream at arm's length, close enough to feel real, far enough to stay intact, and you call it not being ready? You already know all of this. That's the part nobody says. You've thought about it at 2 in the morning. You've journaled it, talked about it, understood it intellectually in ways that should have been enough to change something by now. But understanding why you're stuck is not the same as being unstuck. And here's why. The pressure doesn't live in your understanding. It lives in your body, in the specific way your chest tightens when you open the laptop, in the way a good day can turn bad the moment you remember what you're supposed to be doing, in the physical feeling of carrying something too heavy for too long. You can't think your way out of something you didn't think your way into. The pressure got in through years of absorbed expectations, comparisons, sacrifices that were made visible, achievements that were made to mean more than they should. It's going to take more than knowing that to shift it. The goal is not the problem. The weight on the goal is the problem. And the weight didn't come from you, not originally. It was loaded on by people who loved you and were afraid, by a culture that decided your value was your output, by a version of yourself that started using future success as collateral for present worth. None of that is actually about the work. The work, the actual work, stripped of everything it's been made to mean, is just work. It takes time, and it's sometimes hard, and sometimes it doesn't come out the way you wanted, and none of that is catastrophic unless you've tied your worth to the outcome. The question isn't how do I work harder under this pressure? It's what happens if I put the proof down? What happens if the work doesn't have to answer the question? If finishing it doesn't make you enough, if it's allowed to just be the thing imperfect, incomplete in places, genuinely yours, without carrying the weight of every expectation that got attached to your name before you were old enough to choose them. What would you build if you were building for yourself? Not for the narrative, not for the sacrifice, not for the people who are watching. For you, that question is not rhetorical. It's the only direction the stuckness actually moves. The pressure spikes in a specific moment, not when you're resting, not when you're distracted, when you sit down to work, when the cursor blinks. When the blank page is right there and the whole weight of what this is supposed to become lands on the next thing you type, that's when the freeze happens. So before you open the thing before the weight lands, name it. Out loud if you can, in your head if you can't. This is carrying too much right now. I know that, and I'm going to work on it anyway. Not to fix the weight in that moment, just to separate yourself from it by an inch, just enough to make the next move possible. Then do the smallest thing, not the important thing, not the thing that will prove something, the most inconsequential, low stakes, almost embarrassingly small thing that moves the work forward. One paragraph, one sketch, one calculation, one email that needed to be sent 3 weeks ago. Something so small the pressure doesn't know to attach to it? Because the freeze doesn't happen in small things, it happens in important ones. So make it small, make it stupid small. And do that until you're already in it, until you're already working and the weight has been left at the door. This isn't a trick, it's just the truth about how momentum works. You can't think your way to starting, you can only start. The pressure you feel is not proof that you care deeply. It's proof that the work has been asked to do something it was never designed to do, to decide, once and for all, whether you were worth it. It wasn't designed for that. And you were never the kind of thing that needed to be proved. Put the verdict down. Do the work. Not because everything depends on it. Because you actually want to. This is your inner algorithm. And now you know it's there.